Oh, okay. It seems to have worked. Hopefully we didn't lose everybody. So we're okay for. I should have do this probably like a webinar next time. You learn, you live and learn. So let's see. Yes, inventory. We kind of wait for everybody to get back. So inventory, like I said, it's already out there. Let me share my screen again here. So we left off on inventory robots. Um, and then kind of finally, kind of stuff kind of you can think about. So 5G is going to be huge for robotics, for cloud robotics, because I always have trouble with Snow off and on with AWS, getting good connection with AWS, allowing her to use all the different functions of AWS. My ISP sometimes actually blocks AWS services. So it's going to be great when we get 5G. I can get her like a cell phone, and then she can have a dedicated cell phone where she can get 5G up and down, videos and all kinds of information and connect directly up to AWS. It's going to be huge because less latency, less time lag, better telepresence communication, better video communication between robots and yourself. Other key thing is robots don't have to be laid off. So if you bring in some robots to help during a bad situation, a bad time, you can, once the virus goes away for a while or you solve the virus, you can basically warehouse, store the robots until the next emergency, the next virus, next something bad happens. So I was kind of showing, I think I already showed the video of Snow navigating through a tightly compacted area. Robots are advanced enough now that, and even the outdoor robots examples, they have lots of sensors on them. They're not going to run over you. If they do, it's not going to be a very common occurrence. There's a lot of safety built into robots now. So why are people scared of robots? Now, the reason why I say that is because in places like the US, robots, social media, and oh yeah, here's the video. So think about since 1984 is when the first Terminator movie came out. So one of the reasons why yes, people worried about losing their jobs, but I think one of the reasons in the US especially, while people are so scared of robots, being around robots, is they think they're a Terminator waiting to happen. And maybe in the far future, but this is not a possibility in the present. Now, yes, you could have robots, the military develops and so on, but it's not like they're going to be running out in the wild shooting people. So, but yeah, I think a lot of the stigma, a lot of the negative press robots gets is because people remember watching Terminator as a kid. Like I said, it's been around since 1984. And think of all the Terminator movies. So that other places like Japan especially, South Korea, China, most of your robots are your friends, your buddies, the heroes. But in places like the US, they're more, people see them more as the enemies, the bad guys, the scary person. So this is just a great example that I found. I personally saw this robot at the Seoul airport in South Korea. This robot does all kinds of things, but the really cool thing it does is that it has a very detailed map of the airport, and it will It can take you from point to point in the airport. You just say, I want to go to the restroom. I want to go to this food place, and the robot can take you to that place. So this is already out there. This is not future science. This is the robot taking me to is it Quiznos? The robot, so you can see the robot's not running over people, not taking people out. It's a very safe robot. That red button on the top of its head, so if the robot does for some reason have issues, all you got to do is hit that big red button on the back. It'll stop what it's doing. So the robot actually detected that I was too far away and actually stopped and waited for me to catch up with it. But this is a great example. It's existing technology. Nothing has to be reinvented. You just come up with like some cool new way to use it, some cool way to help people. It's just basically just you have to write some software, write an app for it, specialize it for an individual task, and off you can go. Since we do have some time, and I haven't seen a lot of questions. So this, just think in the workplace. So this is basically a robot similar to Snow back here, but she has this robot has a infrared sensor, an IR sensor on top, and it has a camera and vision sensors. So this robot can actually, it's sort of like a cop, so it could be kind of irritating, but this robot can just drive around, especially common areas, entrance areas. It can check people's temperatures, make sure they're not running the temperature before they enter. I think somebody's going to pop the sensor here in a second. So just in case the sensor may be not calibrated correctly, then you have somebody double check the person's temperature, make sure they're not running temperature. This is also good. Think about it. So you'll come into work and you're not running the temperature, but maybe you start getting sick during the day. If you have a robot patrolling around checking people's body temperature, it can alert somebody, say, hey, by the way, you just started running the temperature. You may want to get yourself checked. This robot also has ID sensors, can check for, make sure the person's supposed to be in the area they're supposed to be at. So in today's heightened environment, you just don't want anybody walking around a business. You want people that need to be at the business to be at the business. You just don't want everybody to be there. This robot also can, this is pretty simple technology. You can detect whether somebody's wearing a mask or not. So if you're pushing that, saying everybody has to wear a mask, then the robot can check, make sure you're wearing a mask. And this is a UB Tech from China. They're pretty advanced robots. Like I said, they're very similar to Snow, my Snow robot. So this even to me, this is a little bit scary, a little big brotherish. But this is Boston Dynamics robot walking around a park in Singapore. This is a trial. So the robot just basically is walking around a public place like this park, and it can detect temperatures and make sure that you're wearing masks. And the other thing it does is it sees if you have proper spacing. If you get too close to somebody else and this robot's around, this robot will actually warn you and say, please space out more. I'm sure everybody who knows anything about robots has seen these. So like I was saying, for warehouses, this technology has been around forever. But the great thing about this technology is, or use of this technology is that this helps alleviate issues in our supply chain. So if you have a warehouse, it doesn't have to be fully automated, but does have warehouse robots and people in it, you can use the robots. You can use the robots to help with supply chain issues. So if everybody in the warehouse is getting sick, you don't have to shut the warehouse down. You can keep it automated and keep it up and running with a skeleton staff until you can get it fully disinfected, fully clean. You can even wait a couple weeks before you allow people back in the warehouse. But you can only do this if it's automated or partially automated. So this helps alleviate supply chain issues that we could have in the future. So we could at least maybe we quarantine the warehouses for a week or two, and this allows us to do it because we are partially or fully automated in the warehouse. And then you're going to see these more and more at Walmart. But this is new stuff. This is not new stuff. Walmart's been working on this for a while now. So this robot goes around Walmart and does inventory checks and sees if something is in short supply. And this can help out supply chain issues or help out stores that help limit the employees' exposure to COVID-19. But this robot just goes around and takes images of the stocks at the shelves to make sure they're stocked or not stocked. And this robot's really good. This robot's really tested. This robot's not going to run into you. You shouldn't be scared of this robot. It's a good. So this is a little funny video here. This is my last video. So this is to show robots. Robots aren't scary. I'm actually making this robot sad because I'm interfering with its locomotion. So the robot's not hitting me. The robot's not running into me. The robot's not getting mad at me. The robot's just showing just a little bit of displeasure because I'm too close. So in a sense, it's the robot saying, hey, please social distance with me. Oh, let me see, make sure. So, like I said, robots can help now. They're not something that's going to help in the future. They can help now. They can get us ready for the next possible outbreak, or to get us ready for next January, February. We can have robots in schools, businesses, warehouses, everywhere. So, a little funny. So now let's see if we can get some questions answered before we time out here. But yeah, new technology to me, it's all everything. Every time there's change or something new happens, there's always changes, adjustments. People get frustrated. People get worried. People, especially with their jobs and so on. So let's make sure I get caught up here on my questions. Yes. Yeah, somebody's agreeing with me with the comparison, the Asian vision of robots and the Terminator vision of Terminator. Yes, there's definitely, I've noticed personally, my Japanese friends, my South Korean friends, my Chinese fans are more susceptible or more open to having robots in the workplace and being around robots and socializing with robots. Okay, another question is from Jim. Would you comment on the high cost of many of these robot software solutions, making it difficult for wide distribution? Snow, 10,000 or less. There's a lot of the telepresence robots are a couple $1,000. They've been around forever, 5-6 years. Really, it's not as expensive as you would think it is. Snow is really advanced for 10,000. I've seen telepresence robots for around 1,000 or 2,000, even less. Think about, so everybody's talking about 3D printers right now, today and yesterday. So makerspaces can develop a really cheap maker-oriented telepresence robots for makerspaces. Let's see, make sure I got them all caught up here on my questions. Yes, the West is not as open to robots as in daily lives, yes, as most people. A lot of people are really scared about jobs right now. So I understand how everyone thinks the robot's going to take their jobs. But to me, robotics is an opportunity. It's presenting ourselves. It's a huge opportunity. We just need to take it. We need the technology. We need the learning, the training for it. But I think schools and colleges may be letting us down a little bit in that category. But definitely with the skills and knowledge and training, there's so many opportunities that robotics provide for us. Uh, robots, the best way to explain it real quick is robots are really good at simple, repetitive tasks. We're more creative. We're more imaginative. Robot needs to be trained to do something. Even in a warehouse, a factory. So think about a car. Somebody needs to know how to build a car. A robot doesn't know how to build a car. A person, a guru, a SME knows every step in the car building process. And then that SME, that expert, then breaks each individual, breaks it down to individual sections and parts and situation so that a robot can do it. It's going to be a long, long time before a robot can build a car by itself. One robot just builds the car, or one robot knows how to build a car, or one robot can design it and build a car from scratch. And then you need technicians that need to work. The robots, Snow's great, but she needs to charge her batteries. She needs to have her face shield wiped and clean. She needs to have her wheels changed every once in a while. Somebody's got to do that. And right now, it's not a robot. A robot's not going to repair a robot. A robot's not going to repair a robot. So think of it as opportunities, not taking of your job. Gee, I agree with the SLAM navigation right now. It's pretty good. What are the other limitations we have? So the question is, SLAM navigation is great right now. What are some of the limitations that have to face in robotics? What about object manipulation? So that's where I was talking about that RoboCup home version, home edition. There's lots now. Fine tasks. There's a lot right now that robots could do. It's pretty easy for a robot to clean a bathroom. Just go out on YouTube and search robots cleaning bathrooms. There's many examples of robots being able to do this. And that's where now, as far as picking up fine, small objects, yes, there's still a lot of work to be done, but there's competitions at universities working on RoboCup at home. That'll definitely, it's just something with a little more research, a little bit more money. There's like UB Tech has got a humanoid robot that walks on 2 legs that actually I've seen at CES that can go from a refrigerator to the person sitting on the couch or person in bed. That technology is here. Maybe needs to be refined and worked on a little bit, but it's here. And robots are pretty safe now, so there's a lot of fail-safes on robots. So I don't worry about the robot hurting you. Don't worry about the robot hurting your kids or hurting your parents. The worst case, what usually happens is the robot usually just freaks out and says, I cannot do the task that you asked me to do because something's in the way. A pet's in the way, a kid's in the way, a person's in the way. I can't do your task. So instead of trying to complete your task, I'm basically stuck. So that happens. That definitely happens. Let's see. Yeah, there still needs to be work on picking that stuff up, but there's a lot of really cool stuff being done on that right now. I think just about ready to run out of time. So I think I got caught up. I think I got everything done. So if you have any further questions or further ideas and suggestions, I'm always open to do Zoom meetings or message stuff. I'm all over social media. I got a Facebook page, a Twitter account. I'm I_Biloid on Twitter. I'm Michael Overstreet on YouTube. Got tons of YouTube videos. I'm on Facebook as Michael Overstreet. I'm Michael Leon Overstreet. There is actually a serial killer named Michael Overstreet. I'm Michael Leon Overstreet. So don't get confused. So I'm all over social media. I'm more than happy. I love talking about robots. So if you got some robot questions, I'm more than willing to do. I meet up a Zoom. I love showing Snow off. I'm actually, unfortunately, having a little bit of trouble with her today. My ISP has blocked AWS some AWS services again. I don't know why they do it, but she's sort of not working, but I love showing her off. So cool. Okay, yeah, thanks everybody. Yeah, in this day and age, no more handshakes. Let's do the live long and prosper. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me. Hope to see everybody again. Thanks. Thank you. I'm gonna end the meeting this time.